What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic Thursday night. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and any questions or comments you have are very much welcome. So please throw them my way. And thank you again for tuning in tonight. It's almost 10 o'clock here. Sorry for the late one, but busy day today. But today I wanted to talk about we are a couple weeks away from the draft. We've been talking a lot about the draft, but there were a couple moves made in the last couple days, and some free agents going off the board. There are still some veteran guys out there available for the Eagles to pick up. I know we talked about the fact that probably not going to pick up too many, but we signed Eric Wilson and Jordan Howard. And look, we talk about we don't need to rush into these things. We're going to probably fill a lot of these holes with the 11 draft picks we have. If it's going to be 11, we'll see what we do exactly. But yeah, wanted to jump in and take a gander at some of the top free agents remaining. So yeah, that's what we're going to do tonight. If you have anybody you're interested still out there you want to talk about, please let me know. We will talk about it. We can talk about the draft. We can talk about whatever your heart desires. Just let me know. But to kick it off, we're going to just start with the offense. Now, we talk about the holes all over the place. Quarterback, we know the fact that we have Jalen Hurts. We know that we just signed Joe Flacco to be the backup. I imagine we'd probably draft someone in a later round, maybe get an undrafted guy. But if you wanted to add one of these free agents, you see the list here. There's guys like Alex Smith, Josh McCown out there, RG3's available, Geno Smith, Blake Bortles. I'm good on that. But Brett Hundley, that would be an interesting one. I think, adding someone that's been behind Aaron Rodgers and Kyler Murray, that would be very intriguing. So I think that Brent Hundley as a free agent quarterback would be somebody that, if you're going to add somebody, wouldn't be against it. But you got to have some depth in that room, some guys for practice. And, throughout the summer, you got to have guys competing. So wouldn't be against that. Then going on to the running backs, not really going to put too much emphasis there. I think Jalen Hurts is QB1. We've discussed that. And I think you get someone in the later rounds or an undrafted free agent quarterback. Maybe in the mid rounds, you go for someone like a Kellen Mond, maybe a Kyle Trask. I'm not sure if they do that, to be honest with you. Maybe David Sims. I really don't know what the Eagles want to do, but maybe you get an Ian Book, seventh round, maybe undrafted. I don't really know. But running back, I can't stress enough how much I want Javonte Williams in this draft. That would be phenomenal. But yeah, we added Jordan Howard, Miles Sanders. I'm a huge fan of him, but we're going to be running the ball a lot. So got to have some depth there, guys. We know Miles Sanders dealing with injury history his first 2 years. So, yeah, I really think we want him to have 20 carries per game, but can he handle that? A 1-2 punch would be nice. I like Jordan Howard. I like Boston Scott, but they are 3 and 4. You need an RB2. Javonte Williams would be nice, but there are some free agent running backs available that wouldn't be against. Todd Gurley was there at Atlanta. Don't really know if that's who I'm looking at. Duke Johnson, Rex Burkhead. That Swiss Army knife. I think that's somebody that would be intriguing. Jerick McKinnon, I think he's about 28, 29 years old. He's been dealing with injury history. That sucks, but he was always somebody I was intrigued by. Very fast. Obviously, that's not good if you're not healthy. Le'Veon Bell, not 30 years old yet, but he's getting there. I know a lot of people still love him, but I'm all right there. Kenyon Barner just got himself another Super Bowl ring with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Don't know if you had him. Deion Lewis, don't know if he finally makes his way back home, but I'd be good on that. Rex Burkhead would probably be the only one that would intrigue me, but like I said, go there in the draft. We've talked about so many running backs that I like. You could go Javonte Williams, even his running back mate at North Carolina, Michael Carter. You go in later rounds, get a Ramondre Stevenson, nice power back. I think there's so many options here, guys, that wouldn't make me too upset. What is going on, Facebook user? I do not know who you are. If you click that link at the top, we'll be able to see who you are. I don't know why Facebook does that, but thank you for tuning in. A pleasure to have you here. Trey, what's going on, my man? Thanks for tuning in, dude. Look, Corey Clement is not on the team. He is a free agent, and I don't think he should be brought back. I loved the story back in 2017. I think that this running back room needs an overhaul, so we need to bring ourselves in a running back in this draft. So I don't know if we re-sign Corey Clement, but I don't think that's the right move. I think you got to get yourself a different running back. So one of those guys maybe, but I think at the draft, maybe get 1, 2 running backs. You get undrafted guys. We know what we did last year. Elijah Holyfield is still here. We traded him for him actually the year before, got him for the Panthers. Actually, I don't think we traded, just signed him. Anyways, got Elijah Holyfield. Last year we have Michael Warren. Killins is actually back this year. That was an undrafted guy. So you're going to have running backs that compete, but I want a Javonte Williams. I want to have a nice 1-2 punch. And that would make me very happy. So I don't think you go free agent at running back either. So we'll move along there. Wide receiver. I like the young talent we have. I think you got to go in the draft again at wide receiver. But there are Larry Fitzgerald, man. He's out there. That's somebody I've loved growing up since I was young. So that's pretty crazy. I'm not so young anymore. Golden Tate, Antonio Brown. I'm good on both of those two. Danny Amendola still playing. Last stop at Detroit. Alex Erickson, an intriguing slot pick from Cincinnati. But you see Pharaoh Coper. He is pictured here. I think he actually last played for Carolina, but I always thought he was intriguing. I think most people did coming out of college, but hasn't really lived up to expectation. Could provide some help in the return game, though. Same could be said for Isaiah Ford. D.D. Westbrook dealing with injury history for most of his career, but I thought he at times definitely shined with the Jaguars, so wouldn't be against that. Same for Damiere Byrd. I mean, when you play, and same for Marquise Lee, but he used to play for the Jags and Patriots, and he dealt with injury history too, but you're playing with crap quarterbacks. I don't really know how much you want to gauge that. And this is going to be a new system. I'm really excited to see how Nick Sirianni uses these receivers. We talk about the fact that his staff is full of guys that either played receiver, have been coaching receiver, quarterback, whatever it is. You talk about Shane Steichen, Kevin Patullo, Brian Johnson, this whole staff I am very excited about. So that's just, talk about the offense, obviously. But tight end, the next position. I think that obviously Zach Ertz is somebody that's been talked about over and over and over again, and rightfully so. He wants a new contract. We don't really have the money. I think there are definitely some options. I wouldn't I think there's guys in the draft, but that's an intriguing one. You're not going to get Pitts anymore. That sucks. Maybe in the third round. I think there's Brevin Jordan, Pat Freiermuth. I'd be very intrigued by. But you see here on this list, maybe Jesse James. Didn't really pan out in his career yet for the Steelers or Lions. Eifert last with the Jags, his injury history. I mean, not really too much exciting. Trey Burton, I'd take him. I would happily have him come home. Jordan Reed, a little bit older. Think I'm good there. So you look at some talent there, but I think once again, you got to address that in the draft. And we talk about, we have 11 picks. So you're definitely going to be able to do that. And I'm very excited for 2 weeks away, man. Baby Gronk. Yeah. Look, there's a lot of talent in this draft. So if you don't get a tight end, which we're not going to get Kyle Pitts at 12, I don't know. Maybe they package something up, move back up. I don't know why we would do that, but the Eagles would do that. Howie Roseman would do that. We'll see what the compensation was before I'd be pissed off. But we'll see there. There are some linemen. Lineman depth is always good, especially with the kind of injuries we have dealt with. So you take a look at some of these offensive tackles. Alejandro Villanueva, you guys remember him. Chip Kelly let him go right away. He was picked up by Mike Tomlin, and he was a nice left tackle for the Steelers. I don't think he, Okung, or Eric Fisher are options. I think we're good at left tackle. We got that battle with Dillard and Mailata going down. Looking at right tackles, Dennis Kelly, the Undertaker. He is obviously an ex-Eagle. That would be, I'd take him back. That trade was ridiculous. Dorial Green Beckham. Ricky Wagner with Detroit there. I think he last played for Green Bay, but either way, wouldn't mind him. And then some of these other guys. Now, LaRaven Clark last played with the Colts. Maybe he would be somebody that, wants to join Nick Sirianni, maybe Ifedi or Newhouse. Not necessarily guys that I'm jumping through a wall for to get. So, yeah, big deal. Then the guards, Trey Turner, I'd be all for that. Don't know if we have the money. But look, he's a starting caliber guy. So you're really just looking for depth. I don't know, maybe get a Joe Dahl, J.R. Sweezy. Not something I think you go free agency. I don't really want a veteran guy on the offensive line. I want more youth. And look, I like the youth we have. I love Nate Herbig. Big fan of Jack Driscoll. I think whoever loses out on that battle can provide depth at left tackle. So we've got depth, but you got to add maybe a center, a guy that can play center and guard, can help out at guard if something happens, then play center if Kelsey leaves, you get the deal. But yeah, our current O-line is definitely strong as hell. So that's something I feel very good about. The fact that, we have a good line, but, everybody always comes back to, you got to stay healthy. It's like, yeah, obviously everybody's got to stay healthy or you're going to suck. So yeah, we want to stay healthy, but looking toward the future, Brandon Brooks, Lane Johnson getting up there, injury history, Jason Kelsey not going to be here forever. So wouldn't be a bad idea, but I like the depth we have. You know what I mean? But yeah, center would be where I would focus for sure. So, center is the next position. We have a couple guys out there. Maybe Brett Jones, last played in Minnesota. Hronis Grisou, Bergstrom, and I believe Garland all last played for San Francisco. All older guys in their 30s. Grisou, the youngest of them, at 30. I think Bergstrom's like 35. So, older guys. I'm not really trying to get older there, but just letting you guys take a gander at the top 10 of all these positions. So, there's the offense for you guys. I'll throw up the special teams before we get to the defense here. Just nice little intermission, have a little smoke break, drink break, whatever you got to do break. We'll take a look at special teams. No offense, kickers are people too. But, the Eagles, we got Jake Elliott. Yeah, he could use some competition, I would say. Then we let our punter go. So you let Cam Johnson go to the Texans. And I think, you should definitely add some competition for what's his name, Aaron Sipos, I believe, the punter we have that we brought in, a rugby guy. That's cool and all, but we'll see how well he punts. So on the right side, you see 5 punters, and on the left, you see 5 kickers. Bring one in. I don't care. Bring in some competition. The Eagles need it. We need to improve in all facets of the game. So there was your special teams. A nice little intermission there for you. Corey Bariquez is my kicker in Madden. Hey, my buddy, he was a big fan. He's a Bills guy. So, look, you got to add competition. And he is the youngest of that bunch that you just saw there. I believe he's 25 years old. So, wouldn't be necessarily against that. So, hell yeah, dude. I just want this team to get better. So, now, looking at the defensive side of the ball, starting with defensive end, there are some guys I'm always looking to improve defensive end position. You know that we won the Super Bowl by having that depth. Guys that could just come in, play, positional role, getting after the quarterback. I don't think we could get a Melvin Ingram or Olivier Vernon. I'd love that to happen. Maybe Justin Houston joins Jonathan Gannon and Sirianni over here, coming from the Colts. Hey, someone that, brings a veteran presence isn't a bad idea in my mind. Kerrigan, always been an enemy of ours, and Crawford. I would take Kerrigan over Crawford, though. Trent Murphy used to be with Washington. Last played for Buffalo, though. Everson Griffin, we know what happened there. Didn't work out for the Vikings, Cowboys, or Detroit. So not sure what happens with him. Alex Okafor, I believe, last played for the Chiefs. And Claiborne was with the Browns. And you see pictured here Dwayne Smoot. Somebody who, I liked coming out of college last 4 years. I didn't do anything really in the first 2 years, but, for the last couple years, he really did make an impact. Didn't start any games 2 years ago, but he got 6 sacks, I believe 7 pressures, I want to say. And then he followed it up last year. I believe he had 5.5 sacks and then 17 pressures. So, hey, he actually did well when getting a chance. I think he started 5 games. So he did well. I'm all about adding depth to this room. I think we've talked about a lot of the guys in this draft, though. Jalen Phillips, big fan. Greg Rousseau, big fan. There we could go through the list again. Quiddy Pay, I know, has been talked about. I'm all right there. I don't want to go there at 12. You guys know I want J.C. Horn. I want Patrick, or if it's not Horn, Patrick Surtain, Devontae Smith if he's there, Jalen Waddle. I mean, there's so many options. So many options that get me excited for this draft. So hoping Howie makes the right moves. But those are some defensive end options there available. Defensive tackles. Big Beau Allen in the house. I would happily take Beau back. I think, obviously a fan favorite. Won the Super Bowl with us, and I'd love to have him come home. I don't think Geno Atkins is coming here, or Kwan Short, Terrell Casey. But you see some guys available. Damian Square, he started here, coming out of Alabama, undrafted dude. But, moved around, and I think I wouldn't be against adding him. Maybe a Shelby Harris from Denver. But yeah, Beau Allen would be the guy. I like Christian Covington, not necessarily like he's great or anything, but from Houston, maybe he would provide some depth. But if there's any position that I really actually feel comfortable with for the Eagles, it's the defensive tackle position. So, I mean, you're looking at Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave there. Started to look pretty damn good together at the end. I think they're going to look really good in this defense. I'm just trying to be hopeful. We brought T.Y. McGill back. Excited for that. Ridgeway. Hey, let's see what they do. Got rid of Malik Jackson. Maybe add some depth there. So, a couple options there. We talked about Christian Barmore a few weeks ago. You saw a few articles today talking about him. Don't do that. But that's a pick that Howie could definitely be looking at. We warned, everybody watch out. But don't do that. Don't do that. So I'd rather you go get some depth in free agency than to waste a draft. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. So that's one of the positions I feel comfortable. So don't. Now, outside linebackers. Aaron Lynch. Obviously, he played, I think he actually started with the Bills, but he played for the Bears. And then last, I think played for the Jags. Somebody that's an intriguing pick, could add some of that depth as an edge rusher, but also an outside linebacker. Someone intriguing to me, kind of like a Jannard Avery that you could use. He's not really that guy that just fits the mold of 3-4 outside linebacker or 4-3 defensive end. He really is somebody that can play both. So, an intriguing guy there. Pernell McPhee last played with the Ravens, I think. And then Sean Lee. We all know him. I'm good. KJ Wright, Seahawks. Yeah, maybe Devondre Campbell, but I don't think we have the money. But you never know. We talk about those 1-year veteran deals with the cap going up next year. Some of these guys willing to take a risk on themselves. So you see some of those outside linebackers available. But hell yeah, Trey. Now, going down to the inside linebackers, I think this is important because we talk about needing to add to this position. And we just did. We got Eric Wilson, a guy that can play all over and special teams. I don't think he's the answer. Like, everything's saved. Linebackers good now. I would love to see us get JOK, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Yep, love that. Don't know how that's going to be possible. Maybe we trade back. I don't like it at 12. Maybe you trade up, make a huge deal, move back into the first with that 37 and something else from next year. I don't know. But I'd love to have him. He's that perfect mold of linebacker that I think we need that can play safety. He's just really that nickel linebacker that can cover guys that I would love to have. But we talk about Zaven Collins, somebody else that's like, I really like Zaven Collins. He can get after the quarterback too. But I think I really, really can't stress enough how much I like Nick Bolton. I would like to see him be somebody that could grow into that middle linebacker. I know we have Davian Taylor. We used a 3rd-round pick on next year. I have high hopes for him, hoping he pans out. Very raw last year. Obviously, we all know quite a reach, but just trying to be hopeful that he turns into something. But we're going to take a gander at these inside linebackers. Quan Alexander dealt with some injury history. I would love to have him. Played for the Niners. Actually started with the Bucks, and then most recently the Saints. So somebody that's moved around, but very talented, man. And I'd love to have a veteran linebacker that is actually talented. I know the injury history, so that might be scary, but maybe if it's a cheap deal, I'd be all about it. We got to get this linebacker room right. Reuben Foster, I'm not so sure about him. Injury history, all kinds of history, whatever. Avery Williamson got traded last year from the Jets to the Steelers. He's decent, but I think I'd rather have the other guy that used to play for the Jets, Neville Hewitt. Also, Patrick Onwuzar up there, too. I'm two guys I'd be intrigued by. Actually, all three of those guys. And then Todd Davis there, somebody that played with Gannon, last played for the Vikings. So maybe we shall see, but we need to improve that damn linebacker room. So got to do it in the draft. You got to do it in free agency, wherever you got to do it. You just got to do it. Pete, my man, what's going on, brother? We are going through the free agents still available. We saw the signings of Jadeveon Clowney going to the Browns. You saw that Alden Smith went to the Seahawks. Talked about James Conner going to the Cardinals. Reminds me of Rashard Mendenhall back in the day, going Steelers to the Cardinals. What was it? Giovanni Bernard went to the Bucks, and then Cordero Patterson went from the Bears to the Falcons, pulling an old Devin Hester on us. Look at all these throwbacks we're getting. PJ Goodson from the Browns. Yep, he used to play for the Browns. That wouldn't be a bad idea at all, man. He was listed up there, I do believe, right? Yep. So I'm with it, Trey. I want to improve this room any way possible. So those are the guys that most intrigued me. And some people I left off for all these positions because these are just some of them obviously aren't going to be with the Eagles. That's why we talk about them. But for fitting people on purposes, I just put 10 on. So, I mean, some people made it, some people didn't. And some of the old heads coming up on corner and everything, didn't put in Josh Norman. None of that, not doing it. I'm good. All right. I didn't put Frank Gore and running backs, greatest tenured Eagle of all time. I'm good there. I'm good. Yeah, the Browns are building something, man. Ooh, they already had a good team. Someone last week, were like, the Eagles are turning into the Browns. I was like, 11-5 playoff team. I like your style. So I'm all about it. I would like to see the Eagles get to that level where we have dual running backs, like we talked about earlier in the video. The quarterback doing what he needs to do, really good receivers, and a really good defense. That'd be nice. Would be really nice. So you do that by adding some of these veterans, but hitting on these damn draft picks. That'd be nice. Now, getting to a position that I think I've talked about. Well, I know I've talked about for years, but last year we talked about the fact that Sidney Jones should win the job. Got a little banged up, even though there wasn't even like a real camp going on. That's ridiculous. So he gets hurt, gets cut. It's like, oh, yeah, and you used a second round pick. I thought maybe for how cheap he was, at least give him a shot because we saw what else was on the roster. But you go with Devontae Maddox outside. We have Craig James's depth. Everybody's hurt. It's just we're bringing guys from tire shops. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, that's what? Kayvon Seymour. Craig, Jameson Houston. It was rough. You have to address that in the draft. That's why we talk about J.C. Horn. That's why we talk about Patrick Surtain, Sante Samuel, Caleb Farley. Just get some damn corners. Get multiple corners. There are multiple corners. Calvin Joseph. There's so many people. Just please get a corner. But we'll take a gander at some of the veteran corners that are available. Steven Nelson, we talked about when he was released, made a video about 10 minutes after. I'd love to have him. Casey Hayward, probably a little too costly. Same for Richard Sherman. I don't know. Maybe some of these veterans, like we talk about in those one-year deals, bet on themselves. Steven Nelson, though, would be nice to have. Buster Screen, maybe hold down the slot for us. I'm not sure. Rashad Breeland, last played with Casey, I think. Brian Poole was a Falcon. I think he just last played with the Jets. Our defensive back coach just came from the Jets, so maybe there's a little something there. One of the McCourty brothers. I'm all right. Gary and Conley, last played for Houston, I think. And then Drake Kirkpatrick, who used to be Cincinnati, but I think he last played for the Cardinals. Some veteran depth, wouldn't be against it because when you look at the cornerback room that we have, I'll be real with you, it's a little bit scary. So love you guys. I know you're Eagles. And yeah, I'm trying to hope for the best. But, Nickel Roby-Coleman's still a free agent. Strap's a free agent. So they're not back in this room. We got Darius Slay, man. Vontae Maddox better be used as a nickel corner and a free safety, helping out in defensive back, certain situations, special teams, but not outside corner. So address that for the love of God, or go get someone like Steven Nelson and address that, and that'd be awesome. Now, I decided to add a second page of corners. Got those 49ers players mixed up. Now you got Jonathan Joseph, Tramon Williams. This is more of a older players, some younger. Artie Burns didn't pan out with the Steelers or the Bears. Maybe you could help him. Kid from the U. TJ Carey, Jason Verrett, pictured here. Obviously dealt with some injury history. Didn't know if he'd come back with that injury with the Chargers. Played really well for the Niners. If you could get him on a cheap deal, that'd be awesome. I would be all for that. Love if he could stay healthy. Ken Crawley, from the Saints. Starkey Dennard. Played for, actually, I think he was a guy that went from the Bengals and the Cardinals as well. Rasul Douglas, you guys all know him. Let him go to the Panthers. Maybe you bring him back home, give him an opportunity. I'm not so high on Rasul Douglas as most people, but wouldn't be against adding some depth here. Manuel Mosley would be a nice pick as well. Somebody that also played for the San Francisco 49ers. So decided to make 2 pages for the cornerbacks because we are in dire need of cornerbacks. So please address that. Going to miss Cowboys fans crying about if only Sean. Yeah, how about it? Oh, if Sean Lee was in, we'd be winning this game right now. We've been hearing that since the DeMarcus Ware days, dude. Don't want to hear it, man. Don't care. Don't care. Cowboys game was brutal. Indeed. Emmanuel Mosley. Yes, I would be all for that. We have to improve outside corner and inside corner. So that's what I'm talking about. Add veterans, add people in the draft as well, where you have so many holes. And I think a lot of people want it to be rushed. That first wave of free agency is like, look, we didn't have the money. You're going to have to get some of these older guys that are willing to take those 1-year deals we talked about. Dude, we got Anthony Harris. We got Eric Wilson. I'm very excited about those pickups. Jordan Howard's back. Like I said, third or fourth running back. You got to still add an RB2. Javonte Williams. I think there's just a lot of things I would like the Eagles to do, but we'll see what they do. But there's a lot still to be done. We don't have to rush. So I'm not freaking out about it. We're just taking a gander at what's left and what the Eagles could possibly do. Now, last but not least, the safety position. We just talked about Anthony Harris. We did upgrade there from Jalen Mills. Then you lose Rudy Ford, a special teams guy. You replace him with Andrew Adams, another nice addition. So I like those pickups. Now, Rodney McLeod, ACL injury, not going to be ready for the beginning of the season. So that's not good. Kayvon Wallace get more of a chance to shine. Great. But behind him, Marcus Epps, who did play well at times, actually surprised me. But yeah, you definitely got to address that position. So a few safeties here. Well, the 10 safeties I saw. Kenny Vaccaro, a little bit older. I wouldn't be against that. Trey Boston played well at Carolina. I'd definitely be for that. Not sure, but we talked about those 1-year deals. I didn't think, nobody thought Anthony Harris. So, but the guy pictured here, obviously familiar with Sirianni and the defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon. Malik Hooker, defensive back, worked with our defensive coordinator who was the defensive back coach with the Colts. So I would love to have Malik Hooker. We've talked about him for, a couple of months actually now. So, yep, go ahead and do that. I'd be all for it. DJ Swearinger, a little bit older. Jaleel Adai, actually, I thought was always underrated for the Chargers. Wouldn't be against that. And some older guys there at the bottom, Deshaun Gibson and George Iloka. Iloka, I think, actually just played with Minnesota. So, and you guys remember him probably from the Bengals. But look, depth is needed in the secondary. Depth's needed everywhere. So that's why we just went through all of the free agents available in the NFL. So, I'm being patient. I'm trying to be patient throughout all this turmoil because we just keep getting, all these hit pieces and all these ridiculous reports. And a lot of, truth is to some of them. And there's a lot of nonsense to a lot of them. So you just got to take it all with a grain of salt and try to sift through it. And that's what we do here, man. That's why we talk about it every day so we can get the truth out there. We need so much depth at corner for sure. And we've been saying it since last year. So here we are again. We didn't put any emphasis on it other than picking up Darius Slay. So go ahead and get a young guy that can learn from Slay, grow to be the number one, but, ball together with Slay for the next 5 or so years. That'd be great. JC Horn. That'd be great. And then we talk about getting someone like JC Horn, and then you talk about, having an elite corner. That makes you pretty damn good. And everybody, you need a receiver. Look, I love Rager. I think if you add someone like Rashad Bateman or Terrace Marshall, which we've been talking about for months, which you see all over the place now, that's great. They are good. They're very good. You add a stud receiver in the second, maybe the third. There's talent. Here. And I'm all about it. Hey, they could add Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle, and I would not be complaining. So all about just making this team better. And I say 2 guys in the draft. 2 corners. I assume you're saying, yeah, man, we've talked about this. I think we need to use 6 out of the 11 on defense. So a couple of those could be cornerbacks. A couple of the other picks could be linebackers. Defensive line is always, a possibility for the Eagles. We need offensive line help. We need running backs, receivers, tight ends. We need it all. So that's what we were going through tonight, man. And I really appreciate all you guys that tuned in. Trey, Pete, the Facebook user that said hello. Everybody that tuned in, you guys are awesome. Thank you for liking, retweeting, subscribing, whatever, all the stuff you guys do to support me. Truly means the world. And I thank you very much for it. Now, if you missed anything, you're watching this later, you can always go back. We went through every position, the top 10 guys available at each position in the NFL, even special teams, because kickers are people too. If you guys need anything, please feel free to reach out to me. But I am going to get rolling out. It's rolling up on 10:30 in this beautiful Thursday night. If you guys need anything, though, seriously, reach out to me. Always here. And you guys are awesome for always being there for me. And I truly appreciate you guys. There's so much BS going on in the world right now. So much just racism, just flat out racism, and just atrocities, police shootings, just BS, man. And it needs to stop. So a lot of people going through a lot of stuff right now. And I always just try to extend my hand and always try to be understanding of people. So always try to be there for you guys. Try to stay sane through all this. We still got, a pandemic going down. Like this world's crazy, man. We got to just stay peaceful, be the change, man. And that's what we try to do here. Not trying to preach to you guys, but I always appreciate you guys being there for me. So I always try to extend the same. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys are all having a great night. Please feel free to reach out if you need me. All right, guys, as always, go Birds!